I'm getting the chance recently to reflect on my own neurological makeup over the last, nearly 17 years now. My energy's been focused on Tristan and then the boys, my two younger boys. And so I've had sort of little time really to have a look at myself within all of this. But for some reason or the other, I've had a couple of experiences recently that have, when someone says something and it, I don't know, causes you to pause. I've got a close friend and she pops round, once a week or so in between her care job, in between her visits. And we talk and we like to deeply analyse stuff. We sit there, we examine all the sort of costs and benefits and possible outcomes of different life decisions and choices. And sometimes I do wonder, what somebody would think if they were to hear us talking. And, I know for sure she'd be seen or labelled to be on the autistic spectrum. And she said to me that she views me as being on the odd spectrum. Both of us are, a little bit, I don't know whether the word's cynical about any kind of labelling at this point in our adult lives. So, we use autism loosely, we use ADHD loosely, but we view ourselves as not necessarily fitting in with the norm. And I thought, I just find that really interesting she said that about me. And then recently I've started going to a carers group. Now this is really, really not something I've pursued, this sharing how I feel, within a group. But I thought, what, let me just do something that isn't natural to me. Let me push against my reservations. And when I attended the group, I thought it was very interesting. There's one girl there that seems very likely more on the autistic spectrum in the way that she spoke, and a couple of people that definitely more on the ADHD side of things. And I thought, do you know what? I feel I sit very neatly within both of these categories. And what I mean by that is there's one side of my personality that is very rational, and I love stuff like environmental decision making, where I look at deep problems, draw out systems maps, examine the things deeply. I love engineering, so I've got a degree in that, and just going into subjects and really, really that deep focus. And it feels like that never leaves me. My mind is always pushing to the next thing. So I've been interested in subjects within that, from 3D printing through to mycelium and all sorts of stuff, where I wanted to look at sort of innovative approaches to design and engineering. So there's this side, and this rational side plays out. Obviously, being a mother, I've got, I suppose, quite rational systems thinking regarding bringing them up, calendars and to-do lists and ways of getting things done, approaches to paying off my credit card, all of that, a lot of this very rational way. But then also on the other side, I have also within me something that's quite the opposite to that, which is I from a very young age wanted to live more of an exciting life, to defy boundaries. That meant when I was young, I did get in arguments with my dad He was very authoritarian. My mum and my sister were much more likely to toe the line. I did not with my dad. I used to say what I thought. I would, yeah, really, really be quite headstrong. And also, I was very, very young to kind of get out there in life. So at about the age of 13 or so, I fell in love with music. And really, as soon as that happened, I was wearing all black. I was into heavy metal and rock, and I was seeing live music, um, going from this band to the other, going around my friends' houses. I all but really disappeared from the family home from very young through this. I just loved it. But I don't feel like I really recognised I've had more of this sort of pushing of boundaries side to me. And it's meant that, at school, whilst my behaviour was pretty good, I also found stuff like, being sent on work experience incredibly boring. The idea of potentially sitting in a shop, I just thought I cannot do it. And so I ended up doing my work experience at a car garage, just so I wasn't having to do and sort of sit there and be passive. Um, I've then sort of travelled quite a bit, and I would have continued that, but obviously bringing up the boys, that's I've got other priorities. But I have spent time in Jamaica and Cuba and Japan and Miami, and I have done stuff. And I said, and as I say, would continue to do so if I was able to do that. But yeah, I've always found I wanted to, I don't know, suck the juice out of life. And I've got this way about me where I can go to the cosmos and back mentally. I will push different perspectives on spiritual beliefs, geopolitical events, world events. My nervous system sometimes gets overwhelmed by these amazing journeys that I go on. And I've become really aware in my older years how important it is to kind of keep myself balanced, so I can get restless legs. I can find my neurological system totally overwhelmed at times, get burnt out by this analysis paralysis insanity that I do. And I'm really, really finding it important right now to sort of center myself, um, and just look after myself, really. And yeah, I'm finding this journey really interesting, just looking at my own neurology, considering Tristan has autism, and looking at my two younger sons. Uh, both of them have got individual learning plans at school. One of them, like me, has this more restless side, which I'm looking to help him with at the moment, actually, through amending his diet and again through some of the measures that I'm taking. And then the other one seems like me, but on a little bit more of the autistic spectrum side of things. So I'm just looking at all our wiring and thinking, wow, that is fascinating. But anyway, life's a journey.